This is the L2C Media Network. Ah, Steve, can you believe this? Yesterday we had technical problems. Today we're back. Yeah, tell me about it. I wonder what happened. I wonder that too, but we'll never get an answer. Anyway, let me do my thing. Live and direct from the Tom O'Neill Memorial Studios inside the Park Forest apartment complex in beautiful Jackson, Michigan. The L2C Media Network presents Steve's Sporty Balls. And now, your host and maybe his, Steve, the Baxman Baxley. By the way, I'm Harry von Stuttgart, the announcer. Michael, the wizard, Matthew, the wizard Nichols. Harry, you forgot him first time ever. Matthew, the wizard Nichols is our one of our producers. Jay, the brain man, is the other one. And now here's our host, the Bax Man. Hi, remember us? That was, what happened last night could have happened to anyone, but had to happen to us on the biggest night, period. We were ready to go to our special, and for some reason, our access to YouTube Studios was not granted, and the webcam and the stream both were denied us. So after about 5 tries, we just threw up our hands and said, "Well, maybe this is YouTube's way of saying shut up and just do what you got to do. Do what you have to do. Do what you're doing. Just don't invoke our name anymore." Okay, so we're doing our show. Behind the Desi Lou and the Desi Lou Productions microphone, I am Steve the Baxman Baxley. It is a pleasure and honor to be here tonight. So let's get to it. Okay, we got an hour. We're going to be off the air at 20 after midnight. So let's do it. Let's get on with the show here. It is the NFL schedule was released last night, which we wish we could have given it to you live, but we couldn't because of a tech issue. Hey, Phil, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Yes, indeed. Mandy Summers' favorite person. How you doing? Please, everybody, tell your friends about this show. We're funny, we're freaky, we're all a little geeky, and we're fun. We're now on at 10 o'clock. If we get interrupted, we will be on the air when we return from home, but we are here. It's about 11:23 right now, and we're glad you're with us around the world, across the nation, and up your address. So, hopefully your last night was beautiful, extremely great, and we're glad you're here. Now, the NFL schedule was released last night, and uh, if you're wondering who are the winners and losers, and who's got the best revenge game? Okay, let us do this. One of the things was the state of holiday games for 2024, and the conversation included picking the favorite Thanksgiving games. Of course, you had to say Bears and Lions. Um, that was very good. Some would have said Giants, Cowboys, and others picked the Dolphins and Packers. But now, let's get on with it, shall we? Let's go with the top revenge games on the 2024 schedule. The Chiefs 49ers, week 7. No revenge, quite like Super Bowl revenge, and the 49ers will get their shot at redemption in this game. It'll be on week 7. Steelers and Broncos in week 2. Russell Wilson taking on Sean Payton. Oh, this is going to be good. Russ got cut by the Broncos this offseason and eventually signed with the Steelers on a dirt cheap 1 year contract. He has all the spite in the world for being publicly embarrassed, even though the Broncos are still paying him roughly 85 mil not to play for their team. There's a man who's got revenge on his mind and hatred. Number 3, Ravens at Chargers. It's brother versus brother, Harbaugh versus Harbaugh, John versus Jim. And again, it gets relit as Brother Jim returns to the bosom of the NFL. We'll just see what happens and is developed. Here is the breakdown. One good and one bad thing on each team's schedule. The Steelers, one good thing. They get to start off the season by playing 3 straight games against teams that all finished under 500. Last year, that will be the Falcons, Broncos, and Chargers. And they're going to need to take advantage of that by getting off to a quick start because second half of their season is downright ugly. Damn ugly. We're talking put a bag on their face ugly. Oh, woof. One bad thing for the Steelers. The back end of the schedule is unfair. From week 11 through the final week, the Steelers will play 8 straight games against teams that finished last season with a winning record. Ravens at Pittsburgh versus the Ravens. Pittsburgh at the Browns. Pittsburgh at the Bengals. Browns visit Pittsburgh. Then the Steelers go to the Eagles, go to the Ravens. Chiefs come in. Then the Bengals come in. This stretch includes a span of 3 games in 10 days where they'll face the Eagles, Ravens, Chiefs from December 15th through December 25th. Santa better give them some Bear aspirin. How about the Chargers? One good thing about the Chargers, Matt Eddie, how are you, sir? One good thing about the Chargers, the Raiders won't be leaving Las Vegas a single time between November 20th and December 24th. That 34-day stretch is the longest span that any team will go without paying a road trip this year or playing one. And one bad thing, starting week 11, the Chargers have a 4-week span where 3 of their games are against the Bengals, Ravens, and Chiefs. Now, those 3 teams are the only 3 teams that have made the AFC title game over the past 3 seasons, which means and makes that qualify for as a tough, long stretch. I'm doing well. I see the stream's finally live. Guess the tech issues got resolved, I hope. They did. Oh, boy. One bad thing about the Lions, well, coming out of their week 5 bye week, the Lions have to play 4 of their next 5 games on the road. And the worst part is 3 of those 4 are against teams that made the playoffs last season, the Cowboys, Packers, and Texans. Now, the Lions literally wrecked Green Bay, not once, but twice. And we still remember what happened 2 years ago. Aaron Rodgers hasn't forgotten. He wishes he could play against them again, but the NFL gods said no. Now, if the Lions are going to defend the den this year, to defend their title, it's going to be interesting. If the Lions are going to struggle in 2024, that could be the stretch where it happens, but I don't think so. I think the Lions, they tasted the playoffs. They almost got into the Holy Grail, Super Bowl. This year, look out, because the Lions aren't your they're not your doormat anymore. They're not the NFL's doormat. I mean, they now have a taste, and this season is going to be their biggest test. And if they could pass it with no injuries, they got it. They will not only defend the den, but I think this will be the year they go all the way. Now, let's get on with the other good and bad. Yeah, let's go for the good and bad. Ho, ho, ho. Okay, here we go. More good, more bad. More ugly, more sad. More pathetic. More dramatic. In everything they do. La, la, la. It will. Yeah, let's do it, baby. Anyway, hey, the mic works. Everything is working tonight. Okay, now let's do the East. Okay, AFC East, Miami Dolphins. One good thing for the Dolphins, they opened the season with 4 of their first 5 games against teams that didn't make the playoffs last year. Also, 3 of those first 4 are at home, so there's definitely a chance we could see Miami get off to a hot start, but then it won't last too long. One bad thing, there's a lot for the Dolphins not to like about this schedule. For one, there's a 47-day span where they'll only play one home game, and that will come between weeks 5 and 10. Also, this team has been horrible when the weather drops before 40. So it's definitely not good news that they'll close the season with 2 games on the road in northern chilly cities. That's Cleveland and New York. And speaking of New York, how about the Jets? One good thing for the Jets, although the Jets have a brutal opener in San Fran, they'll get 4 straight games after that against teams that all finished below 500 last season. That stretch includes games against the Titans, Patriots, Broncos, and Vikings. A span where the Jets could be playing against 3 straight rookie quarterbacks. One bad thing, the Jets closed the season with 5 games against teams that all finished above 500 last season with the Dolphins, Jaguars, Rams, Bills. Dolphins, that's the kind of stretch that could knock the Jets out of playoff contention if they're not hot late in the year. How about the New England Patriots? One good thing, the Patriots won't have to play a true road game during the month of October. New England has 4 games during the month, with 3 of them coming at home and 1 coming at a neutral site in jolly old London. That being said, maybe the Patriots would prefer to be playing road games considering they went 1-8 at home last season. Now, one bad thing for them, the Patriots might start the season 0-4. Not only do they open the year with 3 of their first 4 games on the road, but those games are against the Bengals, Jets, and 49ers. How about the Buffalo Bills? One good thing for the Bills get to face the Patriots twice over the final 3 weeks, which is a team that they've dominated recently, going 5-1 their past 6 meetings. Basically, if the Bills need some wins down the stretch, they'll likely be thrilled that they get to close the season with 2 games in 3 weeks against New England. Now, one bad thing, starting in Week 11, the Bills will play 4 straight against teams that made the playoffs last season. That includes getting back-to-back games against the 2 teams that made the Super Bowl, the Chiefs and 49ers. The NFL also didn't do the Bills any favors with a 3-game road trip starting in Week 4, where Buffalo will face Lamar Jackson, C.J. Stroud, and Aaron Rodgers. Now, how about the AFC North? The Baltimore Ravens, one good thing, the Ravens get a Week 14 bye, which is tied for the latest bye that any team was given this year. If the Ravens are in playoff contention, a late bye should be good news. However, there's one bad thing. The NFL didn't do the Ravens any favors to start the season. 4 of Baltimore's first 5 games are against the Chiefs, Cowboys, Bills, and Bengals, which means if the Ravens come out flat to start the season, they might dig themselves a hole they will not be able to get out of. How about Cincinnati? How good are the Bengals? Well, the Bengals have a chance to get off to a hot start with games against the Patriots, Commanders, and Panthers in the month of September, where they'll be facing 3 new head coaches. Although they have to face the Chiefs in Week 2, they've had success against Kansas City with Joe Burrow, going 3-1 with their star QB. So a 4-0 opening month might be possible. However, for every good, there is a bad. In four of their toughest games, the Bengals' opponent will get at least 10 days of rest before facing Cincinnati. The Chiefs get 10 days before facing the Bengals in week 2, while the Steelers will get 10 days before facing the Bengals in week 13 and could get 11 days of rest before facing the Bengals in week 18. Cowboys will also get 11 days off before facing the Bengals in week 14. How about the Steelers? One good thing, Steelers get to start off the season by playing 3 straight games against teams that all finished under 500 last year: the Falcons, Broncos, and Chargers. And we've already told this, didn't we? Yes, we did. Okay, let's go to the Cleveland Browns. One good thing for the Browns, they went 8-1 last home. The Browns went 8-1 at home last season, so they'll likely be very happy with the fact that they'll go more than a month without leaving Cleveland. From week 7 through 10, the Browns have 3 straight home games and a bye, which means they won't leave Cleveland from the 14th of October to the 16th of November. Now, one bad thing, if the Browns are in playoff contention going into December, they might end up fading down the stretch, and that's because their final 5 games are brutal. Cleveland will close the season with three games against the Steelers away, Chiefs, Bengals away, Dolphins, and Ravens away. Now the AFC South. One good thing about the Indianapolis Colts over the final 6 weeks of the season, the Colts get to play 5 teams that didn't make the playoffs last year: Patriots, Broncos, Titans, Giants, and Jaguars. And they get a late bye. If there's any team that could get hot down the stretch based on their schedule, it's Indy. One bad thing, however, starting in week 5, the Colts will have a stretch where they'll play 4 road games in a 5-game span, which means they'll only be playing just 1 game in Indianapolis over a 40-day span. Now, how about the Tennessee Titans? One good thing for the Titans starts in week 9 as the Titans face the New England Patriots, Chargers, and Vikings, which means they could see 2 rookie quarterbacks over a 3-game span. The Titans also have games against the Bears and Commanders, which means they could see a total of 4 rookie quarterbacks in 2024, which could help them pick up some wins. And one bad thing, the Titans play their final 5 games of the season against teams that all finished above 500 last season, and there's a good chance that Tennessee won't be favored in any of those games, which will come against the Jaguars, Bengals, Colts, Jaguars, and Texans again. How about the Houston Texans? How about them Texans? One good thing for the Texans, they'll be opening the season against the Colts, Bears, and Vikings, which means they'll likely be going up against 3 quarterbacks who have a combined 4 NFL starts. And Anthony Richardson, who have in Anthony Richardson, Caleb Williams, and J.J. McCarthy. Now, if that's the case, it won't be surprising if the Texans open the season with a 3-0 record. Now, let's go for the bad thing. Thanks to their Christmas game, the Texans have to play 3 games in 10 days, starting on the 15th of December, and all 3 games will come against teams that won at least 11 games last season: the Dolphins, Chiefs, and Ravens. It's not going to be an easy stretch. Jacksonville Jaguars, one good thing, they get to go to London for 2 straight games. That definitely worked in their favor for them last season when they went 2-0. And don't be surprised if it works out for them again, especially because they could be facing 2 rookie quarterbacks in England with games against the Bears and Patriots. One bad thing. Not only did the Jags open the season with 3 of their first 4 games on the road, but all 4 games will come against teams that made the playoffs last year: Dolphins, Browns, Bills, and Texans. If the Jags sputter out of the gate, it's going to be a long season. The AFC West, the Kansas City Chiefs, one good thing for the Chiefs is very simple. With 1 game on a Wednesday, 1 game on a Thursday, and 1 game on a Friday, and a bye, the Chiefs will be getting extended rest Heading onto four of their games this year and getting extended rest is always a good thing, especially when one of your best players, Travis Kelsey, is pushing 35. One bad thing, however, is one of the Christmas teams, the Chiefs have to play three games in 10 days starting on December 15th, and their stretch is especially brutal since all three of their teams they'll be facing made the playoffs last season: Browns, Texans, and Steelers. Kelsey said this week that he likes to get the tough games out of the way early in the season, so he's probably not thrilled with the span of games. How about the Raiders? One good thing, not only do the Raiders get to close the season with three of their final four games at home, but those four games will all come against teams that didn't make the playoffs last season: Falcons, Jags, Saints, and Chargers. Raiders got hot down the stretch last season, going 3-1 in their final four games. And if they can do that again, if could be a stroke of genius. Anyway, we continue on. One bad thing starting in week 5, the Raiders have a nightmare stretch where they'll play consecutive games against the Steelers, Rams, Chiefs, Bengals, and Dolphins. That stretch is tough enough that it could knock them out of the playoff contention before the calendar hits the gobbler. Hey, how about the Chargers? One good thing, Chargers get to close the season with three straight games against teams that all finished under 500: the Broncos, Patriots, Raiders, which means if they can stay in playoff contention into December, they might be able to sneak into the playoffs by going 3-0 in that stretch. One bad thing, however, well, starting in week 11, the Chargers have a 4-week span where three of their games are against the Bengals, Ravens, and the Chiefs. Those three teams that I just mentioned to you, huh, they're not going to make things easy. I grant you. Yeah, okay. Um, let's see. Starting week 11, the Chargers have a 4-week span where three of their games are against the Bengals, Ravens, and Chiefs. Those three teams are the only three teams that made the AFC title game over the past 3 seasons, which makes uh, that qualification as rough as a rough stretch. Now, the Denver Broncos, one good thing for the Broncos, Sean Payton is probably going to circle the entire month of October on his calendar. The Broncos get to face four teams that all missed the playoffs last season. That's the Raiders, Chargers, Saints, and Panthers. Um, I paused. My apologies. But the NFL added insult to the injury by where it put Kansas City on the schedule. First, the Broncos had to play a road game against the Ravens in Week 9 before facing the Chiefs uh, on the schedule. First, the Broncos have to play a road game against the Ravens in Week 9 before facing the Chiefs in Week 10. Then the Broncos have to play the Bengals in Week 12 before facing the Chiefs in Week 18. They might lose all four of their games, but you never know. Anyway, uh, let's see. For a rough stretch. Okay, well, that's gonna be nice. Okay, what's it? Starting in week 11, the Chargers have a 4-week game span where three of their games are against the Bengals, Ravens, and Chiefs. Those three teams are the only three that have made the ABC team Langer or Danger? It's Langer. One good thing, it's bad enough that Denver has to play the Chiefs twice, but the NFL added insult to injury by where it put Kansas City on the schedule. First, the Broncos have to play a road game against the Ravens in Week 9 before facing the Chiefs in Week 10. Then the Broncos have to play the Bengals on Wednesday. Okay, hey. One good thing about for the Broncos, Sean Payton is going to circle the entire month of October on his calendar. The Broncos get to face four teams that all AI miss. Ugh. And three of the four teams, by the way, will have a new head coach. This one team that I won't have that won't have a new coach, the Saints, is probably the team he'll want to beat the most in that true span. How about one thing? One thing bad for Broncos? Simple. It's bad enough that Denver has to play the Chiefs, win twice, but three times. Oh, geez. Anyway, the one bad thing for the Broncos, it's bad enough. Walt Disney has to play the Chiefs. Roga. Anyway, one bad thing. Well, his personal life is going to be very, very hectic, folks. Anyway, um, what's he got? Um, it's bad enough that Denver has to play the Chiefs twice, but the NFL added insult to injury. The Broncos have to play a road game against the Ravens to show yourself. Week 9 before facing the characters. Anyway, we'll talk more stuff coming up. Okay. Hmm. NSL East. One good thing for the Cowboys, they've gone a combined 15-3 uh, against divisional appointments over the past three seasons. So they were probably about 23. Okay. As for one bad thing, starting in week 3, the Giants will have to play 5 straight in generics. Okay, wow. I'm going to stretch myself here, get comfortable. If you can hear me, hooray. If you can't, we're working on it. But at least uh, you can hear us. Okay. Let's see. Green Bay Packers. One good thing for Green Bay. Okay. Wow. Oh. Okay. Um, I mentioned Green Bay. Let's. What else is there? What are we going to do next? We're at 12:08 right now, and we are getting close to the end of our little show. We're not falling asleep. We are live. You can still hear us. Huzzah! Um, as I said, we're going to go until about 12:30. That way, we're going to get everything done. And we are moving very fast, folks. The Arizona Cardinals, one good thing about them, they'll be getting two very winnable games starts in week 15. They play the Patriots and the Panthers in consecutive weeks. That's about the only thing to like about the Cardinals schedule. Now, you guys are coming back. There you go. Um, and I know this recliner is going to get trashed, and I'm going to trash it. Uh, One bad thing about the Cardinals, their season might be over before it even starts. Arizona has to play five of its first six games against teams that made the playoffs last year, including the Bills, Rams, Lions, 49ers, and Packers, and that is brutal. Now, uh, they also closed the season with consecutive games against the Rams and 49ers. The schedule makers clearly do not like the Cardinals. Now, for the Seattle Seahawks, the one good thing, the Seahawks will have a legitimate chance to start the season 2-0. But they'll be opening it against the Broncos and Patriots. One bad thing, someone in the NFL scheduling department thought it would be fair to give the Seahawks a stretch where they face the 49ers, Bills, Rams, and 49ers again. This is definitely not fair. And how about the 49ers themselves? Well, the 49ers' entire schedule is a gauntlet, but will they get one breather? No, but they will get one breather, and that will come starting in the fourth week when they play the Patriots and the Cardinals in consecutive weeks. That will start with a 6-week stretch where the 49ers will only play one game on the road. Now, one bad thing about the 49ers, they'll be facing a total of 4 teams coming off a bye. And that is going to be the mother of all schedules. Egans, this. Okay, well, I'm going to make this fast because this recliner is starting to bite. One bad thing for the 49ers, they'll be facing a total of 4 teams coming off a bye, which is the highest number and in the NFL, and it's something they're almost certainly not to be happy with. 2 of the teams coming off a bye will be the Chiefs and Cowboys, who the 49ers have to play in consecutive weeks starting in week 7. The Niners also have a difficult 2-game spat. Um, uh, Starting in week 12 with a game at Green Bay before they travel on to Buffalo. They also have a trip like last season where they played a game in the central time zone before traveling to the east, and they went 0-2 in that trip. And there you have it, kids. Okay, let's get to the scoreboard and get you all updated, and then we will get to see you tomorrow at our regular time. So here we go. Um, where are we? Oh, yes. Okay, let's get you. Uh, we got baseball. We got hockey. You know the drill. Let's get it to you. Let's get it all to you, kids, right now with a little bit of football. Um, cities Italy. Um, game between Florentina and Napoli will start in uh, about a few hours. Oh, ooh, one exploded on me. Let's see. See, of course, if they had anything here. Okay, I don't think so. So let's get away from soccer here for a bit. Take you to basketball. And in the playoffs, well, the Pacers and the Knicks. That'll be coming up later. In basketball Super League playoffs, um, we have no score in the Titans Lightning game. So we'll give you that score tomorrow. Okay, let us go from basketball to the great sport of ice hockey. Then we'll get the end of the Major League Baseball, and we will sign off. In the Stanley Cup playoffs right now, in the third period, it is a tie between the Canucks and Oilers at 2-2. 2 for the Canucks, 2 for the Oilers. Boston Bruins, Florida Panthers, Colorado Avalanche, and Dallas Stars are yet to start up. The AHL playoffs, Coachella Valley Firebirds against the Ontario Reign. That will start in 22 hours, which means they've already started. We have no score as of right now. Okay. Uh, let's get the rest of the wildness that is the scoreboard. I'm going to see about this shirt. Oh boy. Holy cats and jammers. I'm going to have to do something. I think this recliner is going. Excuse me, folks. I know I should not have taken off my shirt, but this shirt has been invaded by some very nasty bugs. So, oh boy. Okay, let's see. There's another one. So let's get to our baseball scores, and then we're going to say goodnight to y'all. Excuse me, folks. But here we go in the NBA. The final score in Game 6 of the Western Conference uh, in the second round. Timberwolves beat the Nuggets 115-70. 115-70. And Timberwolves lead the series by the lovely score. Actually, they tie the series at 3 apiece. In round one of the PGA Championship, Xander Schauffele has a 3-shot lead over Sahath Thagala and uh, Sahath Thagala, Tony Finau, and Mark Hubbard. Okay, well, anyway, let's keep going. Let's go now to Major League Baseball. Top of the ninth inning, Reds lead the Dodgers 4-0. Final scores: Yankees beat the Twins 5-0. In 11, it was the Phillies over the Mets. No, the Mets over the Phillies 6-5. Rays over the Red Sox 7-5. Pirates over the Cubs 5-4, and the Astros over the Athletics 8-1. In third period, still early in Game 5 of the Western Conference second round, Oilers and Canucks are tied 2-2, and they also are tied in games played. So this is game number 5, obviously. And in game number 6, the Eastern Conference second round, the Rangers over the Hurricanes 5-3. Let's see, La Liga, Las Palmas and Real Betis tied at 2. That was the final score. Barcelona over Almeria 2-0. Real Sociedad over Valencia 1-0. Cruz Azul in League MX defeated Monterrey 1-0. In the WNBA, the Liberty took out the Fever 102-66. And that is all we got for you tonight. We're going to close it out. You all have a great night, everybody. We will talk to you tomorrow. Until then, have a great and wonderful night. And keep them balls shiny. Good night, everybody. I'm Steve the Baxman Baxley. That is it. This was a great stream. And this has been a very scary night because I know now that this recliner is going to get trashed. That's it for us. Steve the Baxman Baxley. See you tomorrow. This has been a presentation of Mystifying Creativity Productions for none other than the L2C Media Network. Good night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow night. Good night.